The mission complications is one of the missions in the game with a higher number of possibilities of failing in different ways with different cutscenes. And in today's video, I will be showing you a series here on the channel about now only the mission complications, where I bring all the possibilities of the GTA 5 missions. I have already brought this from the prologue in the mission Franklin and Lamar and in the repossession as well. And the mission we are going to tackle now is complications, and I'm sure you guys are going to love it. If you think something is missing, leave it in the comments. The next video will be about the father-son mission, so if you want to test any possibility, leave it in the comments as well so I can test it in the video for you, okay? So let's go. The first thing we're going to do when we arrive at this location is very similar to what we did in the Franklin and Lamar mission. In the Franklin and Lamar mission, right at the end of the mission, we stay there waiting to hear Jimmy's dialogue with Simeon, and there are some really cool dialogues. Here in the complications mission, Simeon is trying to sell a car to a guy who this time is a little smarter, and if you stay here and listen to all the dialogues, you'll see that it gets pretty funny even at a certain point when Simeon tells you to leave.
The financing, it seems like a shitty deal.
Because of the color of my skin, you think I am a scammer.
No, skin color's got nothing to do with it.
This is under control. Get the car, okay?
My credit's okay, and this is all like high-risk financing.
Yes, you are a risk. I will not give my stock away just because you are a white man.
No, I want a fair deal because I'm a responsible borrower in long-term employment.
I've got this covered. Go and get the car.
Can you let me think about it?
What's to think about? You're either a man or you're a vagina. Rockford Hills, the yellow 4x4.
It just doesn't feel right.
You do not feel right. Buy the car or get off the floor.
Look, I'm thinking.
All this time I could be mentoring the disadvantaged.
Give me a minute.
You're wasting my time.
I've got to be sure this is the right decision.
Perhaps a rich idiot like you can waste the day, but I have children to feed. Decide.
Can you speak to another customer and come back?
After that, I tried shooting Simeon or the NPCs here, and basically the mission just failed. But there's a cool thing you can do before that. If you arrive with Franklin before the mission starts and point the gun at the NPC or at Simeon, sometimes you can even shoot. You'll see them running and creating a very funny situation. And then all you have to do is take a little distance and come back here for the mission to start smoothly. After doing these things here, the next thing I decided to do was not answer Simeon's call, because when you're on your way to Michael's house, Simeon will end up calling you, and then you answer and he will tell you that he found out about the betrayal regarding the motorcycle theft, etc. And when you get there, you talk. However, if you decide not to answer Simeon's call or not listen to the entire call, Simeon will send you a summarized message about the whole subject he would talk about in the call, but in a much more compact way. As soon as we arrive at Michael's house, the game tells you to go quietly and knock out the gardener in some way. However, if you want, you can simply jump over the gate, run out, and go to the back. You don't necessarily need to knock out the gardener, and this will not change anything in the mission. You also don't need to be very quiet here. You can come running and knock out the gardener or even shoot him using a silenced weapon. If you shoot with a non-silenced weapon, the mission will fail instantly because the family will be alerted by the noise of the shot. The game specifically in this mission says that we have to climb through the window in the bathroom of Michael's house. However, only in this mission, if you try to enter the house, you will see an animation that is not present in the rest of the game, which is an animation of locked doors. This even reminds me a lot of Red Dead Redemption 2, where when you try to enter a house, a door or something, there is a specific animation of the character holding the doorknob and trying to open it, and then he can't. And specifically in the mission complications, this also happens. Both to open Michael's garage, there is a specific animation for that with Franklin trying to open it, as well as to open every door in the house. All of them are 100% locked, forcing you to enter through the bathroom. And the funny thing is that this never happens again in the game. After that, the house is always open or always locked, but that animation is never repeated. Well, after trying to get into the house in several ways and it didn't work out, I decided to simply climb up there and continue as the game tells you to do the mission. When you enter the house, a script starts where Tracy will come out of Jimmy's room saying that he cursed at her and so on. And from there, you have some pretty cool possibilities. The first possibility you have is to enter Jimmy's room. If you enter his room, this cutscene will play out. Play.
Holy fucking shit, bro! Dad! Dad, there's a dude! Dad, help! Dad!
If you decide not to enter Jimmy's room, you can also shoot at some items and see how the character reacts. What's really funny is that if you have a silenced weapon, you can, for example, shoot at the TV and the TV won't get damaged. I don't know why that happens, but it's definitely some kind of bug. Because if you take the same silenced weapon and shoot at the laptop or anywhere else in the room, Jimmy will notice and the mission will fail because he'll call his dad. But specifically when you shoot at the TV, that doesn't happen. If you also pull out a gun and decide not to shoot, but this gun is equipped with a flashlight, no matter if you are in Jimmy's room, Amanda's room, or anywhere in the house, the mission will fail because the flashlight will attract the attention of the NPCs inside the house, so the mission will instantly fail. After seeing all the possibilities we have with Jimmy, there is another possibility that we can also have with Tracy. If you stop here at the door of Tracy's room, you can hear a very extensive dialogue about her saying that once Jimmy hit one, thinking about her friends or something like that, and you can see her kind of arguing with her friend.
Oh my god, seriously? My brother is such a homo. I think he has a medical problem. Like more medical problems than the ones he's already been diagnosed with. Mental ones? Seriously, penises are not meant to be that small. I'd fucking know, right? I've seen enough of them. It's probably because he's so fat. I still love him though, sort of. Well, the other day, I walked in on him, and he was jerking off over pictures of my friends. No, not you. The hot ones, Lauren and Lisa. No, I didn't mean it like that. You're beautiful and interesting. It's just that, guys they just don't get you. Hello? Hello? Fuck. Whatever. Bitch.
Additionally, you can also enter Tracy's room and see this cutscene here unfold with Tracy calling her father completely terrified.
Who the fuck are you?
If you take the test here with the silenced gun inside Tracy's room, nothing will have the same reaction as the TV does in Jimmy's room. While we shoot at the TV and everything continues normally, here in Tracy's room, no matter where you shoot, whether it's on the mirror, on the wall, on the ceiling, on the floor, on the bed, everything will instantly fail the mission, making Tracy desperate. A very important point is that you have to walk stealthily inside the house here. If you start running in any way, Jimmy will notice and call his father, and the mission will instantly fail because the family has been alerted. One very strange thing you can notice, specifically in this one with Tracy, is that if you look with the director mode, you will see that Tracy is using a cell phone that is the same model as Trevor's cell phone. This is probably just a reuse of devices within the game, since Tracy wouldn't need to have a specific cell phone. But it's cool to see that. I noticed that by looking through the director mode to see if there was any detail in Jimmy or Tracy's room that made a difference. And basically there's only that cell phone there, which is something very strange to see. And if you decide to kill whether it's Jimmy or Tracy with a shot, even with a silenced weapon and so on, the mission will fail because you couldn't have killed them. So it's not a matter of the family being alerted or the operation being exposed, it's simply because you can't kill them, as there won't be a way to continue the story. Since Franklin and Michael have to be friends later on, with one of the kids dead by the guy, it won't be possible. So going down a little bit here on the stairs, we have the dialogue between Amanda and the tennis coach where she's flirting with the guy, and supposedly Michael is inside the car waiting to catch them in the act. I don't know what else Michael would be waiting for in this case. And if you stay here, you can hear a pretty cool dialogue like the one between Amanda and the coach, but after a while you see that it gets very repetitive.
You're a real pro, Mrs. DeSanta. A real pro. Well, you're a great student. Now just loosen up those hips.
Okay, like this?
Yeah, loosen them up. There you go. And follow through. Perfect.
Oh, okay. I think I'm getting it.
Ooh, okay, Amanda. All right, now just follow through. God, you've got great hips. You know that? Follow through.
Yeah, I could get used to this. Oh.
At this moment, if you try to leave the house through the door or something like that, you will notice that all the doors are locked from the inside as well. So if you shoot anywhere, even with a silencer, if you shoot at Amanda, or even if you shoot at the tennis coach, which would make a little sense, but even if you shoot at the tennis coach, the mission will fail anyway. So this part of shooting, even with a silenced weapon or anything, it doesn't work. And there's that thing I told you about of you aiming the gun. If the gun has a flashlight, the mission will fail as well, because the flashlight will attract NPC attention. So what remains in this case is for us to approach Amanda and the tennis coach, and then in this case a secret cutscene will happen where the tennis coach, instead of being a tough guy, he hides behind Amanda and starts yelling that Franklin is black, man. Like, Rockstar makes a lot of jokes about these things, and in this case here it's about racism.
No, you're a great student. Now,
Can I help you? Hey.
Do something!
Well, moving on from this part here, there have already been 3 secret cutscenes just inside this house. I'm telling you, this mission has a lot of possibilities, even if it ends in failure. I decided to go to the garage now to see what we could do. The first thing I did was go to the garage and shoot in the back seat, since supposedly Michael is lying there in the back seat, waiting to find out about his wife's affair somehow, and I thought the mission would fail if I did that, but it doesn't fail. If you grab a gun with a silencer, obviously it can't be a gun without a silencer. If you grab a gun with a silencer and start shooting at the back seat where supposedly Michael would be lying, the mission doesn't fail and there's no issue at all. In fact, you might end up hitting the gas tank, causing the mission to fail because you damaged the car, rather than actually hitting Michael in the back seat or something like that. And even after you shoot a bunch there in the front, like in that part where Michael has to spawn, he appears smoothly without any problem. Another thing I tried to do here to see if it worked was to get inside the car and then get out of the car, but this function doesn't work. You really get stuck inside the car even before Michael raises and points the gun at Franklin's head, because in theory after Michael appears, Franklin doesn't get out of the car for fear of being shot, but before Michael appears he should be able to get out of the car or something like that, but in practice he can't. Well, assuming you stole the car and everything went smoothly in here, you now have to go to the dealership. There's a really cool trick you can do here, which I've actually shown in other videos, but here's the deal. If when Simeon calls you, you don't let him finish the sentence that ends the call, the game will glitch. I think for this to happen, you have to keep crashing the car multiple times. You can crash into NPCs, a lamppost, a wall, anything works. It's a bit tricky to get the hang of it, but if you manage to get to Simeon's dealership without that call ending, you will be able to enter the dealership without breaking the glass, because the dealership will be without the glass until then, and once you are inside the dealership, you let the call happen until the end, and then Michael will appear already inside the dealership, aiming the gun at your head like some crazy stuff. The game gets completely bugged, and the only way for you to get out of this mission here is if you find a way to destroy the car or find a way to fail the mission somehow. Other than that, the only alternative you have is to reload the save so that the mission is reloaded from the beginning. Besides that, we also have other possibilities with this mission. For example, you can come from another way and stop on the other side of the dealership. Strangely, another point also appears for you to stop there, so it's another way for you to continue the mission without it failing or anything like that, which is great. And then when you get close to the dealership, assuming you did everything correctly, there will be that cutscene where Michael tells Franklin to go straight through the glass quickly, or he will put 2 bullets in Franklin's neck. Instead of a cutscene showing something happening, if you simply do not follow Michael's instructions, that is, if you go elsewhere or stay completely still, the mission will simply fail and no cutscene will occur. And why am I talking about cutscenes? Because if before you get here at the dealership, on the way between Michael's house and the dealership, Franklin doesn't drive the vehicle, if you choose not to accelerate the vehicle from Michael's house itself, or decide to go to a faraway place like near Fort Zancudo and so on, there will be a cutscene where Michael will have a mini dialogue with Franklin and then give him a little crown on the head, and he will faint and Michael will get out of the car and so on.
This don't look like the way to No Credit Alley to me.
Shit, man, with traffic and all, this way is faster.
Dumb move, kid.
And now, considering that our last option is simply to grab and enter through the dealership's glass, as the game tells us to do, one last stop that I decided to test in this part here was to enter with the car in reverse, to see if there was a cutscene or if the game worked or not, and the game worked perfectly, just with a slight glitch. If you come in reverse here at the glass will break normally and the mission will continue. The difference is that the cutscene of you entering the glass will show the car entering from the front, even if you entered with the car in reverse, and then after that the car turns to the front normally, which is very strange. After this part, we go into the fight with Simeon, and then we have a few more possibilities. The first one is if we run away from the fight, so you can simply leave the dealership and run around with Michael, and this will cause the mission to fail because you abandoned the mission. The second possibility you have here is not to hit Simeon, maybe just dodge and so on, but eventually with that, Simeon will end up defeating you in the fight, and the character Michael will die. The third thing I tried to do here was to use a weapon to see if I could intimidate Simeon. Since the game is not programmed for that, I had to use a mod to spawn a weapon at that moment, and then when you aim a gun at Simeon, he doesn't care about it, he will still come at you, and then you can shoot Simeon. The mission will not fail if you point a gun at Simeon or shoot him, but it will fail if Simeon dies, so the mission will not continue from there. I didn't test hitting him with the gun, but if you do, test it and let me know in the comments what happens. But shooting him, if he dies, the mission will fail because Simeon died, and actually we just had to beat him up. After this mission ends, we can play as Michael. He remains as a playable character in the game right after this mission ends, and this doesn't work in the replay mission function. It has to be in the middle of the story itself. If you switch to Franklin right after finishing the mission, you will see a dialogue between Franklin and Lamar on the phone, kind of a secret call because you can't trigger that call at another time, a dialogue about them being fired, which is pretty cool to see the dialogue happening and all.
Say again? How the fuck we get fired?
Man, it was partly all that bullshit you pulled, and partly the repo's old man making me crash the car into the dealership.
Ha! You the crazy ass motherfucker in this partnership. You better spin him while you got him.
Yeah, if you say so.
If you then switch to Franklin or even Michael, but I think it's easier with Franklin, if you go back to the dealership, you can force a reunion with Michael. This can make Michael say Franklin's name for the first time, even though I don't think he knows it yet, and it will also trigger a dialogue about Franklin entering the house and everything, and like Franklin says he's sorry and Michael says he's sorry because he got caught.
Oh, hey, look, I'm sorry you got in trouble with your boss.
You know, I'm sorry I broke into your house.
Yeah, you're sorry you got caught.
Nah, actually I ain't. You know, one door closes and that shit.
All right, I'll tell you what, let's have a beer sometime.
Yeah, for sure, dog. I'll look you up.
After that, you can still force one more reunion, make Michael and Franklin meet once again, but the dialogue is much shorter and practically doesn't happen.
Hey, girlfriend.
Oh, hey, Mike. Where you turn up from?
This weekend.
Hey, I got this appointment, dog. All right, I'll hit you later, all right?
No problemo, see you soon.
I think one last cool possibility here that you have after finishing this mission is with Michael calling Dave Norton. You will see a small dialogue between Michael and Dave Norton about some things that will happen in the game.
Michael?
Dave?
To what do I owe this pleasure?
Just want to talk.
You behaving yourself?
Of course.
And how are the kids?
Great. Amanda, too. Wonderful. She sends her love. So how's the job?
Good, thanks, yeah. New supervisor, Steve Haynes. He's on that TV show.
Really? Good guy?
He's okay. Well, it was nice to catch up.
Same to you.
This is just a curiosity about GTA 5 missions. There are several curiosities like this within GTA 5. If you want to know more, click here next to the yellow arrow to watch a new video that is really cool. That being said then, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit the like button, and if you're not subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe and hit the bell to receive notifications. And until the next video, big hug and see you later.